who have known me throughout my life. So I also have one of my best friends, Junior, Anthony, and Justin here, along with my two brothers and my cousin, both my cousin Alex, BB's. Her real name is Isley, and my goddaughter. So my goddaughter, I drag her around to a lot of Democratic events as well. She was with me at the Democratic dinner, all dolled up, looking very cute. I was a very proud godfather that day, and it's very important for me. I grew up in Denver. I grew up in East Denver. And yes, technically our house was in Montbello, but I also grew up here on East Colfax. My family had a restaurant right down the street on Spruce and East Colfax. And that restaurant was run by my mother, actually. My mother ran that restaurant for many years, and all the time, she also never quit her full-time job as a facilities manager for Denver Public Schools. So my mom was the janitor at our elementary schools, and she was also the facilities manager at George Washington High School, and then later Greenwood Elementary in Montbello. And she did all that and owned the business at the same time. You know, one of the reasons that it was also very important for me to host this restaurant, this event here at a restaurant, was because I know how important it is to support our small businesses. You know, if we would have had a better city council member back then, maybe our business would still be up and running today. Our restaurant, it didn't survive a tough economic time. So in 2006, you know, our family went through probably the hardest time that we ever went through. We lost our home because we lost our business. And I remember that I hope you guys don't get mad at me for sharing all this, but our house was foreclosed on and we stayed and lived in our home until the last day that we could. And the services were even turned off. Right? We had no electricity. And we would haul water back from the restaurant because we were so hopeful that we would be able to turn that around, that the owner would work with us, that for somehow, some way, we will be able to turn that around and turn it into a profitable business because we poured our whole entire being, our whole entire lives into that business. Right? I actually had to go out and find a buyer. I sold the business that my family had invested their whole entire lives in. And you don't know how hard that is, right? With the little bit of money that we had left after we paid all of the bills, we were able to find another place to live, and I'm thankful to that. We have a communal sense of ownership in my family, so we all co-sign on each other's properties. I own a little condo with my sister. She's co-signed for my mother. You know, and that's unique to our families. Many families don't do that, but we really own everything as a group, right? And so that's why I'm so hopeful for a lot of things that are starting to happen in Denver, right? Community land trust is an idea that is very old, and we're starting to implement that now. And so because of all these experiences, small businesses are important to me, family is important to me, and community is important to me, right? And because of that, I want to see a Denver that cares about its neighbors, including the homeless. I believe in a Denver in which we, as a people, take care of one another. And if we are displaced, that we actually care enough to say, you know what, no, this system is not working. Unfortunately, it has been communities of color who have been displaced a whole lot more, and we know why that is. It is because we don't have a lot of access to resources, and that is just the truth, right? And so right now in Denver, it's kind of like a surrealness that's going on. We have never seen an economy that's done so well. We have never, ever had this low unemployment rate. And it's not lifting our boats. That is a myth. That is a myth. And so what we need to do in Denver right now is snap out of it. And we need to snap all of those activists out of it and every single one of the neighbors in our communities because we could do better. We could build a Denver that's equitable. And it happens one decision at a time. One decision at a time at City Council. And we've been paying attention, and guess what? The people of Denver are not having it anymore. And so I'm extremely proud. I am extremely proud to be able to call myself, a candidate for Denver City Council. And you know what makes me so happy tonight? To see every single one of you here tonight supporting me, supporting my family. And we're gonna do this together. We are gonna turn Denver into a place that has world-class communities. And we're not gonna buy into the narrative that it is natural market forces that are displacing our cultural jewels throughout our city. It's not. It's other. And we know what it is. What is it? We know what it is. It's the perfection of a system of oppression, and we must stand up now and fight that head on. Right? The working class of Denver must remain here. We have to have a place that we afford. We need rights for renters. We need to have a mandatory minimum wage in the municipality of Denver. Our governor has indicated that he would pass that bill, and we have to work on that front too. But I'll be the city council member to introduce that when it comes, right? At its time. When we're able to do that, that's gonna be me. You're not gonna have to come to me begging and pleading like the community currently does with our current representatives, because if they're good at one thing, I'm sorry, they've been selling out our communities, they really have. And has been a lot of black and a lot of brown people who have done it, and that's what hurts the most. But you know what? We're gonna stand up to it, and we're gonna do this right. And so right now, I am going to introduce someone who I truly admire, and who is an inspiration to me day by day, and that is Miguel.
Hi everybody. My first name is Chess Spanish. This man helped me for interpret for me.
Okay.